Okay, guys, so finally we are starting, and this session is going to be very highly interactive. So I request if you have any kind of question, you can directly ask in the YouTube chat, and I'll be taking this question around in the end of the session. So today we have, and first of all, welcome, sir, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Abdul Majed Raja, sir. Sir, like in the world, in the this madness of AI, in the world multiverse of madness of AI, we have lots of buzzwords here: prompt engineering, AI engineering, and now this new thing is coming up, loop engineering. So it is kind of a feeling of FOMO of being left out. So today, like I'm going to have some questions with you, which is very, I think may bring clarity to the students, to the new people. I've been seeing your recent poster on the X, and some of the top institutors like researchers, Andrew Ng, and some from OpenAI and things. And this new loop engineering is, I think, creating a very a FOMO inside a person. Like, what is this? Like, we have not done from the prompt engineering yet, and now we are going to the loop engineering. So before starting this session, I want to know, sir, how are you doing? How's weather doing? How everything's going around you?
Doing good. It's raining in Bangalore. I'm having my tea. It's a great time.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So, sir, my first question, like before anything, what is loop engineering? Because this is the buzzword. I want to break it down. I want you to understand us from the first principle. What is loop engineering? Like, what is this?
Um, okay, I assume that most of our audience is going to have some familiarity with software development. So this is my assumption to start with. See, even before we see what is loop engineering, I think we need to have like a little bit of context. If you see LLMs, when LLMs started, large language models,
Yeah.
they did not start as a question and answering engine. They started as a next word token prediction machine. That means if you say the quick fox or something like that, then it will fill the next word, which is like jumps on something. So LLMs were designed as a base model. Like even today, like what we call as a pre-trained model or a base model, all it can do is it can predict the next token. It's just a numerical representation of a word.
Yeah.
So when LLMs were just a base model, whatever I'm saying is like even before GPT-3, so is there at that time OpenAI launched something called Instruct GPT. So Instruct GPT was like probably the first model where OpenAI said that we have taken the base model and then we have done something on top of it called instruction fine tuning. At any point, if you feel I'm going very technical, let me know. I'll try to reduce the technical knob.
Yeah.
So before Instruct GPT, where you can ask LLM a question and then it will answer back to you. Before that, what people used to do is people used to do something called tell LLM, like they will write in the first sentence a question, colon, semicolon,
Yeah.
and then write the question, and then they'll write answer, and then semicolon, and then they'll leave it empty. So the LLM will now come back, remaining, fill it, and then give it to you. So this is what LLM was doing. So instead of having the ability for the LLM to answer the question that you are asking, so you are just giving it like how teachers will give a student, like a third grade, fourth grade student, what kind, like they'll have a fill in the blanks. No? So you will give that kind of a prompt. This started as prompt engineering. That's why the name prompt came,
Yeah.
because you are prompting the LLM to give you an answer. So once people started writing prompts, they started writing it in a lot of different ways. For example, you take the same LLM and then tell the LLM as act as a dentist, act as a doctor,
Yeah.
act as a social media manager. So this is in the LLM world also like what we call as like you give enough context to LLM and then you are trying to make the LLM answer something back. This is what we call as in context learning, ICL.
Yeah.
So within the context window, you are trying to make the LLM like teach something, give some context, expect some response back. So this is like started as initial prompt engineering, but later on we started having like more capable models. Yeah, if you tell the model write a poem without letter A, the LLM can do it because it can do something called instruction following. It can follow human instructions very diligently.
Yeah.
So I would say this prompt engineering, if in today's world, prompt engineering doesn't matter a lot at all. So during the early days, prompt engineering mattered a lot. Like you had to write, you had to have prompt template, you had to write in a lot of different ways, even to get a structured response, which is like a JSON response, which is very important for agents and function calling. You had to actually do a lot of nuances. But in 2026, like as we are speaking now in
Yeah.
July 2026, that is not required. So then that field evolved into something called, let's say, context engineering. Then people started evolving that into something called agent engineering. So the latest in that trend is what is called loop engineering. I think it is primarily popularized by two person. I would say like it started as two people phenomenon. One is like Peter Steinberger, who's the creator of OpenClaw. Obviously, he knows a lot
Yeah,
more
he's
about
not
agents than
about.
me or like a lot of us. And then there is the second one is like Boris, who is the creator of Cloud Code. And if you know both of these tools, at the fundamental level, there is an LLM, but there is a harness like sitting on top of it, and the harness is making the LLM more powerful. So these people definitely know what they are trying to do, but the problem is the hype around it. Like back in the day when prompt engineering was starting, you would see like a lot of courses from YouTubers and creators selling like prompt engineering course. I think the same thing is happening with loop engineering.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
at its fundamental, I would say loop engineering is an important concept, but it is not something radical.
So what actually makes it, different from the agents?
No, okay. So now let us say what is loop engineering.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to ask what is loop engineering is a concept of you trying not to write the exact step of prompts.
Right.
Like, for example, you want a LLM to design a website. So typically, what you would say, let's say you want to copy Facebook. So you would go and say, "This is Facebook. Copy this. Make no mistake." Something like that, right? But that itself will not give you the best result. This is what researchers have found again and again. So what you want to give LLM is you have to give enough context, but you have to bound it within something. So when you bound the LLM giving enough context, you as a human being have to always sit there and then see what the LLM is responding back. Then you have to give it the feedback. So for example, let's say you designed a very basic Facebook website, the site is not running, the very first step. Then you will run it in command prompt, and then you'll come back and then say, hey, I ran it, it gave me this error, I don't know what to do. Then the LLM will do something. Then it comes back, then you'll be like, hey, the logo is not in the middle section, you have to adjust it. Then you'll say, oh, I signed up, but the new the email confirmation. So you are always like Peter Steinberger, like the creator of OpenClaw, he actually says that he was initially the bottleneck. The bottleneck in this case is like the human always have to attend the LLM, and that is like delaying what would become like a great software, like for you to develop software. So what he thought, or a couple of others thought, is like, what if I take the human out of the loop? Okay, so what if I can create an end-to-end loop design in such a way that human doesn't have to give the feedback, the agent itself gives feedback, and then the rest of the agent picks it up and then develops something. So you have
I can understand, like basically in the context of agents, where we were trying to like telling agents to do this and this. Now we are replacing ourselves from an agent too.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So it is like,
so the same agent,
oh, like it's a group of agents like who are doing same.
technically is one agent, but you can have multi-threads. Like if you go to Codex, then you can tell the agent to spawn multiple threads, and then it can do multiple threads. And then at the top, you will have like an orchestration agent, like a control panel or control pane, and that will manage all the sub agents, and then it will take all the information finally, and then come back to you. And then you define, like in deep learning or machine learning, there is a very popular concept called objective function. Objective function is what you're optimizing the algorithm for. So very similar way, you can say, let's say you're designing a website. The basic condition is the website should scroll better. So you will give that as a condition. So it will keep on looping until that. And when it scrolls very well, so it knows that it has finished its job, it will get out of the loop. So you finish.
Okay, so basically it is more about the end result. The end result should be done.
Yeah, so if you're old enough, like probably like students this age may not know this thing, but 10-15 years before, within software development, there was a very popular paradigm called TDD. TDD stands for test driven development. So when you're writing software, you are basing it on top of the tests. So generally, like if you write software, you write unit test as along the software. But can you make automated tests in such a way that the software development is always paired with the test? So when a test fails, you update the code. The test again happens. Make sure the test runs. Write the code. So basically, I would say loop engineering is like a TDD wrapper.
TDD wrapper. So why it is like exploded suddenly? Like why it is now happening?
Most times, like when people talk about loop engineering, it is very, very expensive in terms of token, like token expensive. That's the first point. So people like Peter Steinberger, like he currently works for OpenAI, Boris works for Anthropic, Cloud Code. They all have got this, like the infinite money glitch. Like they've got this infinite token that they can spend, which like mere mortals, we can't do it because we have got rate limits, like company limitations, a lot of other things, right? So they have got infinite token. That's the point one. The point two is loop engineering actually gives a lot of improvement. So from NVIDIA, there is a project called Humanize, HUMANIZE, not SEZE.
Okay.
So this is a project from NVIDIA, and as part of this research project, they've proven that at an LLM layer, this is X is the your result. At let's say harness layer, like if you use it with open code or something like that, then Y is the result. And there is a flow state. They figured out that there's a flow state, which is like kind of a proxy for loop engineering. They said your result improves a lot from the LLM and harness layer if you use a loop or flow. So it definitely gives you a much better result, but also your job has to be like, your task has to be like that. So it has, I would say, like the reason it exploded is one, because like obviously Peter Steinberger is like a cult following at this particular point. Anything he says like becomes like gospel for agentic engineering. And second is like people have got like a lot of capable models, a lot of tools are there. And then third one, I would say it genuinely produces better result, but it's just like the FOMO is the problem.
Okay, well, it's the right time, like after prompt engineering, the whole thing. This is the time kind of when people are start like finding more about how agent can make itself run good in a way.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So,
So instead of just to complete one thing, like if you think like prompt engineering is like let's say one software engineer sitting and always typing prompt and then
yeah,
getting things done, loop engineering more is like a boss running a company, and you run like you have like a multitude of sub agents trying to work through a common goal, and then you have got like a manager or orchestration layer that is making sure everything is done, and it constantly
so we
happens.
gave it a name of loop engineering. Like now we have bunch of agents, and now we have one agent who is just checking.
Yeah,
The task has to be done. So
yeah,
it will keep giving him prompt or instruction to
yeah,
keep
yeah,
changing until
yeah,
the task is
yeah,
done. Am
yeah.
I right? Like my understanding is good or not?
Yeah. So when something fails, for example, you say I don't know if you know AEO. AEO stands for like AEO is a concept where you want a website to be visible on ChatGPT or Perplexity or Gemini. Like
Okay,
SEO
okay,
means search engine optimization, where you want the website to. So let's say you want to run an AEO audit.
okay.
So the way loop engineering would work is like you would say that I want 10 AEO reports, and until that keep on doing this. So it will get the first report. It'll be like, oh, 10 is not done. Second report, third report, fourth report, fifth report. It will do everything. It's like just simple for loop that people study when they study computer science during early. But there is like a lot more known. I'm oversimplifying, obviously, but it's not like an entire class of let's say new computer paper or something that you have to study or you have to be.
So like my personal problem, like question is here, like like back then 2 years ago we were prompt engineering was there, agents was there, now loop engineering. So it's like should a student start learning this now? Because like we don't know like what after 2 years could be new things there. So what would you suggest to do like for students like us? What we should start learning? Should AI engineering, prompt engineering, loop engineering, like what could be the roadmap?
I think, I mean, honestly, like I'm the worst person to ask, because most of the time my answer would be like, don't do it. Because I would say when like prompt engineering was like very popular, I said prompt engineering is complete BS, like it's a waste. And today we can see that models are so capable enough, like you don't have to prompt the model to do anything. Like I can show you some examples from a Claude Code session or Codex session. Like even if you give one single line, the model is capable enough to do it. So in fact, like Codex has inbuilt something called slash goal. So
Okay.
if you use Codex, like if you put slash goal and then tell the model to do something, that is kind of like the loop engineering. I mean, you can obviously do a lot more with loop engineering, but
So
goal itself is like a loop, because the model will constantly try to hit the goal, verify whether the goal is hit, validate whether the goal is hit. If it is validated, it will come out of the loop. If it is not validated, it will write a new prompt and then do the same thing
do
again
the
and
same
make the
thing again.
improvement. So you don't have to separately study something for it. You definitely don't have to buy any course for it. It is just that you have to understand, like for example, like I said, TDD, test driven
Yeah,
development,
it was back then also.
was there, but a good test driven development is led by good test. So you need to be able to write good test, you need to be able to write good development like frameworks, like requirement. You need to have good validation methodology, then only you will have a good TDD. So the same way, for you to do good loop engineering, you need to know what you want, you need to know the limitations of the software you are dealing with, you need to know the end result, you need to know how to validate and verify whether the end result is achieved, then you can write a loop.
So more about the clarity about the end result. Like the more you have clear about your goals or whatever the end result is, you can try to start
Yeah,
building in that way. Like my
yeah,
personal philosophy right now is like with like rather than learning anything, like in terms of studying, you just start building things and just tackle these things, whatever is coming in the roadway, like just start learning them and then fixing them, I think.
Yeah. So in fact, I forgot his second name. His first name is Matt. He has got a very good codex skill called Grill Me, GRILL, Grill Me.
What is
So
that?
if you install that, when you ask Codex or Claude Code to do something, before even the agent begins doing something, it will grill you with questions. So for example, if I go say make a Facebook clone, it will grill me with questions. What is the stack I want? What is the design I want? What kind of conditions I want? So it will ask all these questions, basically grilling you to make sure the agent has enough context what it has to do. Then it will go to do the development. So like for example, this is an easy way to get started, but you don't have to like learn an entirely new paradigm. Like it's just like a mental model for you to understand what you want to do.
Okay, so like basically you just have mentioned that you can show some Claude, real world example of loop engineering. Can you just please, like, if for our audience, if right now?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of examples. First,
Yeah.
let me get my
Sure.
codex.
Because people are genuinely interested right now. Like my followers also, they were like, but bro, we want to know more about loop engineering. What is that? So
Yeah.
I say to them, like, don't worry, I'm bringing you a new session.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen properly, sir. There's no issue. Yeah.
Is it codex, right? You can see my
Yeah, it's
codex.
correct. Cool.
Okay. So this is one form of loop engineering. Okay. So first, let me show this. Then I'll show you the simplistic way.
Done.
So what you can do is you can go to codex and then say pin this thread, act as a manager for what we are trying to develop is a native spelling bee app for kids from age 6 to 12. I'll also show you the final result. I have the final output of the same thing on my phone, so I can show you, or maybe I can run it on like an emulator. What happens like when you build something like this? Maybe you know what? Let me actually go back and then say this. Can you run this on Android? Okay, so let's start it. I obviously don't need Ultra, but I wasted Ultra. Anyways, so if you go here, so you can see we are specifying what is our goal.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the first step in any loop. The second is we are giving it enough context. We are saying use the attached image for inspiration, don't copy. Then we are saying what kind of stack you have to pick. So we are trying to give it like the limitation of the technical stack. We don't want it to go all the directions.
Yeah.
Wonder whether I should do React Native, I should do this. We are specifically saying, bro, you need to create an Android app. You need to do it in native. So take Kotlin and then do it. And then this is where we are specifying the loop. So we are saying inspect the current app, test backlog. Backlog is like in software engineering, like stuff thing it has to do. And then we are saying like pick what is the most important identify the highest value remaining gap. So out of all the things that you have got, pick the most valuable gap that you see in the current product, and then break that product gap into smaller tasks. So if you go to companies like let's say TCS, Infosys, the companies where you have got an on-site, you've got an off-site, and then you've got like multiple months of projects going on, there's a role called business analyst. Basically, business analyst will be talking to the client, talking to the product development team, and they'll be like the liaison between these two. So what we are defining here is that part. So talk to them, like look at the backlog, pick what is it, and then do. And then assign the independent task to worker threads. This is almost like a project manager picking a task and assigning it to a junior developer or developer in the team. And then finally, you're saying review the completed work. Once again, let's say like a team manager or somebody is going to review the work. And then now you're doing QA. So you're saying run the build, run the test, do the emulator verification. And anytime you see something fail, send it back to the worker who will be responsible for it. And then if everything is done, integrate the successful work, like leave the failure, integrate the successful work, update the backlog, move on to the next one. So basically you're trying to run like a software engineering team, and then you are saying like what the multiple worker threads should do. Each worker should get so this is where you are telling the agent how to write a prompt. You will write the prompt, but here agent is going to write the prompt, like the basic fundamental of loop engineering. So you are saying every worker should receive a clear task. There should be an isolated Git work tree or branch, so that you don't mess up with the code base. And then you are giving a bunch of things. And then you are also giving an example, like could be a learner worker, could be a UA worker, could be a quality worker. You can have multiple, like you can do pen testing, you can do like vulnerability tester, you can do anything that you want. And then you are giving the characteristic of what the manager should do. You're saying, the manager must maintain a backlog, define the ownership, review the work result, and then never work multiple workers merge concurrently, because that will mess up with the current code base. So all the requirements you say, and then basically like you're also specifying the boundaries. For example, recently there was a very popular tweet where I think his name is Matt Schumer. He said he asked something, Codex went and deleted all his home folder.
Oh.
So you don't want like shocks like that. So you can say that without my approval, bro, don't do any of those things. Like don't do authentication,
We
don't
are
do cloud
basically
storage.
creating boundaries also, that so it does not. Hi, sir. So your net is not. I, network.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I think
I can hear you now.
yeah, can you still see the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen too.
Yeah, so you also want to give a stop condition. You don't want the loop to be infinite, so you want to give the stop condition. So you're saying stop when the learning journey completes, stop when the tests are finished, like when progress is happening persistently. So if there is no progress, right? Like you don't want to like imagine like I want to become a chess grandmaster and I'm trying like every day like 5 years, and I'm still like completely shitty or terrible at chess. Like I shouldn't be continuing doing the path, right? So this is like you're saying the progress has to be there, and then you're finished. So this is like a very, I would say like a very broad way of doing loop engineering. And I would give you an example. Like this is kind of like the output.
Okay.
I was recently,
So this was
I mean,
built
like
by this prompt. It is built
yeah,
by.
a very similar prompt. Like I would, you can see, like I recently
Even
built it.
that.
Like
Okay.
my kid had like a competition, so I wanted to just like build something.
That's
So
cool.
this is, it's on my phone as well. Like I've built an APK out of it. Like I've not deployed it on Play Store yet, but this is the whole thing, and then couple of more follow-ups. For example, like I had to generate the image using Imagen and then put that image overlay. So you definitely have to make some aesthetic changes. It's not like you do one thing and then you disappear, but it does a lot of let's say uplifting, like from the ground, like zero.
Zero
It will
to yeah.
get to a point where you can actually now take it and then start giving feedback and then improve it. And I have zero Kotlin experience. Like
Oh.
I did Java probably like 15-16 years ago when I was in my university. That was the last I did Java, like bouncing one or all this crap. But no Java, no Kotlin experience in 2026. But this is the output. Like you can go play. I don't know. It says
So
like a
it's
word.
more about, I think, like like you should have the proper idea of building things.
You need to have that vision. Where are you starting? What are the tools available? When do you want to stop? How do you validate whether it is working?
How do you
How do
validate?
you give feedback? So that
Yeah.
feedback goes back and then it concludes the loop. So this is like I said, this is a very broad way of doing. I'll also show you a very simple way.
Okay.
So I'll go to Kimi K3, a very recent example.
Yeah, it
So
is also going viral, Kimi.
yeah, so for example, recently I was playing with these models, and obviously like there's this new movie from Christopher Nolan
Yeah,
that is
Odyssey.
coming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted Kimi K3 to design a fully functional Odyssey game with
Okay.
Odyssey as the name. And here you can see that this is a very simple prompt. There is no loop, there is
Nothing.
no boundary, there is no manager, there is no sub workers, nothing. But I'll show you what Kimi has done. So one important trait that you will see with strong models like Fable 5, Kimi K3, GPT 5.6 Sol Ultra, the models are designed to be like the master agent and then deploy multiple sub agents. So if you use, like for example, let's go back to the previous example. I can stop it anyways. If you go to Ultra, which is like the most capable, um, yeah. If you go to Ultra, the most capable OpenAI model at this particular point, and when you do this, Ultra has this tendency to constantly deploy sub agents. So it is still thinking. Once it does, you will start immediately seeing that it will start deploying multiple sub agents.
Multiple sub agents. Basically,
So
building multiple sub agents out there.
yeah, it's like it tries to be the manager and then it tries to deploy multiple employees and then do it. So this is a tendency that you will start seeing more with a lot of state of the art models.
Yeah.
So in the same way, I'm going to stop it. I don't want to
Same
burn
way
my
also.
job.
Yeah. Why to waste tokens?
So if you see here, you can see when I said immediately, Kimi actually thought a lot. It understood what is the Odyssey, and then it understood what it has to do. It understood what kind of gameplay it has to create, and it also created like I need to have this kind of gameplays. This is the way I'm going to go do storyboarding. It did all those things, and it while it was doing, it said, "Oh, but fully functional, I can build from this." So it understood this. it created a plan. It said, first I'm going to read my skill, what I have got, create a project scaffold. So it did all those things. Okay. After that, it read the skill. Even then, it is creating a to do. So it says, I want to create all these things. But this is not where the loop starts. So it did all those things. You can see here. After it did all those things, it is like making a mistake. You can see here, it is making a mistake. It is fixing it. It is making a mistake. It is fixing it. It's kind of like what we are trying to do loop. Even after all these things, I did not touch it like for 30 to 40 minutes.
From a
I
very
did not
simple prompt. It started from a very simple prompt.
It deployed a computer within itself. It ran its code. It used computer used to visually see what is happening, and it said, okay, I have made a mistake here. There is an camera angle issue. It went, fixed the issue, then came back, again ran it, used browser emulation, clicked it, fixed it, and then came back. And then this is like the output game. Like I was recently asking my subscribers, like I made a video and everybody said like Kimi made a great game. So this is the game I think I have. Yeah. So, and this is all like one prompt, and I just did one more follow up. I said like put OTCS there as a 3D character or something. Then it created. This entire thing was from one prompt.
From the one prompt. This is incredible. This is very mind blowing thing for once.
Yeah. So you don't have to define, like I said, you don't have to separately learn loop engineering. You have to learn how.
Ultimately, they are doing loop engineering. They like in their better model also.
Yeah. So loop engineering is abstracted inside. You just don't have to do it yourself.
Okay, nice. Like this is a very good understanding of loop engineering. I think like most of our who is watching our video YouTube, they got a very good understanding. So then like I'm really get fascinated about how I personally don't use Kimi yet, but I'm going to use now.
Okay, yeah, it's a great model. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it's like loop engineering is more about already built in, but you just have to take care of your clarity of the ideas that you are working on and how to do these things.
Yeah, maybe I can show just one more thing quickly. If you have time.
Yeah, sure. Why not, sir?
So I'll show you my Claude. Okay. So this is I would say like slightly another form of loop engineering kind of a thing. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So this is the new concept in. I told you like Codex has something called goal. So you can go specify a goal and then it will keep on doing. But let us say you want to do it at a scale. So let's say you don't want to run a small company, you want to run like a big company. So Claude Code has something called workflows.
Okay.
Where you can deploy like 50, 100 agents. And this is a prompt. Like this is another Android app I was trying. So, but here in this case, I invoked workflows. So because I invoked workflows, you can actually see that first it launched one workflow, and I'll show you. Like in that workflow, so in that workflow, it launched multiple agents. Let me show you. Yeah. So you can see here, it used 2.4 million tokens here.
Ooh, yeah.
And here it used like 1.1 million tokens. And in each of these cases, like it launched like 50 agent, 40 agent. So this is like you're trying to do loop engineering, but you want to launch like so many more agents. And again, you don't even have to call it loop engineering, right? Like for example, like what you do in a software company, instead of hiring one tester, automated QA, you will hire like 5 people if you want to make sure that everything happens properly. So this is kind of like that. The last thing I wanted to show is Peter Steinberger. We are talking about the loop engineering, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, this one. So if you go, Peter has something called agent scripts. It's like a skill that you can install. If you want the, let's say, highest form of loop engineering, like have an orchestrator, do everything very diligently, then you can just go understand the skill. So this is like a very long skill. You can either like put this on ChatGPT and ask her to like visually explain or something. It will do the job for you. But this is like whatever I'm showing. If you think that this is like a baby level, this is like the highest form of how somebody is doing loop engineering. So you can go read this.
Okay, so if somebody wants to know also, you can simply come to check out.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, like I already also get very good understanding of loop engineering right now. So basically, it's not, we don't have to worry that much. This is a very big buzzword now. Like people were starting like, now what is this? That do we have to switch to loop engineering? Do we have to like what is this? So that's very okay, nice. So it's already built in. You just have to have a little bit clarity what is going on, what is happening in the world. Okay, so thank you so much. Like basically to build in a strategy, to build that particular understanding. I have some, personally, I have some very kind of out of the box questions for you, like what you are doing right now. Like if I have to ask from you, you have to give the answer in one word. This is a kind of a rapid fire round for you. Okay, so Chat GPT or Claude, if you have to choose one, like, and why?
Uh, I mean, you need to give me a use case for what, like coding or something else.
Coding.
I would say Claude because of Fable 5.
Because of Fable 5. Yeah, Fable 5 is going very much good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, GPT 5.6 Soul is like a really good model, but I would say Fable 5 creates like really beautiful with good taste.
Okay. I have one personal question with you. Your monthly AI bill approximately, like your API bills, AI bill. I want to know that because many people in tier 2, tier 3, they think that people don't buying, premium of things. They are somehow doing it. I don't know how, they don't know, but they are not buying. So do you really buy APIs or AI premiums or something else?
I mean, I'm lucky enough to work at companies that sponsor this for me.
Okay.
I am also a YouTuber. I get a lot of free credits from companies. I don't want to encourage people to spend a lot, but I would say like if you can spend at least like spend $20, get a ChatGPT Plus or basic Claude Pro subscription, and then use that. Mm, but you can easily spend a lot of money.
But
It
like,
based.
is there any other way to, like, we can skip this $20 thing also? Like, do you
I mean,
think?
there are a couple of ways. Like, for example, you can sign up for anti-gravity, Google anti-gravity, get some free credits. You can sign up for, let's
Mm,
say, open code. Open router every now and then has a free model. So you can sign up for, you can install open code, go to open router, pick the free model right now. I think, like, as we speak now, High 3, a model from Tencent is like free on open router. So you can pick that model and then use it for that period. So you can do a lot of these kind of things. Definitely, you can. Kind of bypassed, but I would still say like if you're a student, um I know a lot of students like just they're not always frugal, they will
yeah,
spend money.
yeah,
Spending money on this is, I would say, there is some use in it, but you need to know what you want to do. Like
yeah.
you
If
can't
you
spend
don't know,
because
you,
everybody
yeah.
spending.
Like mostly my followers are like, like, bro, is there any way that I can do it free? So I feel like you have to at least sometimes you have to put money for the starting in the starting phase. You have to, I think, little
I
bit.
mean, you like I said, like there are a lot of free
Yeah, they are fees
tokens that
also.
you get.
Yeah,
Like Grok has
grok.
got a free plan.
Yeah.
I think Cerebras has got some free plan. Like OpenRouter has got free models. Even like Grok Build with Grok 4.5, the XAI, Elon Musk's like
Yeah,
LLM has got a free CLI right now. You can go use it. Like whatever I'm showing you for paid, you can use it for free. It's a good model. So
okay.
there are a lot of different ways you can use a lot of things for free.
There's lots of things. So my last question is basically what you should suggest like students like the who is going to graduate in 2027 or maybe 2028. What we should focus on, like is this basically the problem is here? We have to focus on DSA also if you have to go into the get into MNCs. So what we should do, like, more into AI things, building things, or DSA, or like what? Because 5 years from now we have no idea what is going to come in the industry. We have no idea. Anybody has no idea. So you want to suggest something that we should more focus on?
Yeah, I would say like three things. First thing I would say is like you need to be strong in computer science fundamentals. You need to know why do you want to use the database. You need to know why do you want to use computer networks. How does an operating system operate? I mean, you don't need your professor to teach you all these things, or you don't need to pay for like some course. You can get all these things in free chat GPT or
Yeah,
Gemini. It can teach you all those things. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say is you need to be really, really good at communication and storytelling. You need to be able to explain what you're trying to do. You need to like be able to convince people that you have the capability to explain it to somebody, because I still feel like that is one thing like AI cannot do really well, like humans can do really well, the ability to storytell. And the third one I would say is, doesn't matter you're in first year, second year, third year, fourth year, you need to build a lot of projects. These days it is so easy to build anything. Like for example, like the one I showed you, like I have no
yeah.
clue about Android application, and I built one. So I would say like you have to have a builder mindset. You need to stop thinking like a software engineer, somebody is going to give you a requirement, you have to do it. You need to have a builder mindset. Like a lot of great builders on Twitter and LinkedIn,
Yeah,
they build like there is a channel called Starter Story. If you
okay.
go there, you can see like every other day they publish a video about how somebody built something and made money out of it. I'm not saying you have to always make money, but you need to have the builder mindset to come up with that idea, understand market requirement, fix the gap, launch a product, deploy it. Whether you make money or not, that's a
That's a
different thing.
different thing. That's a different thing.
Unless you want to go in a research direction, like maybe you want to do PhD, you want to go in a research direction, that's a totally different. But for 95% of, like, let's say Indian graduates, like engineers who come out of it and want to join an MNC, I would say build a lot of side projects as much as possible.
Okay, so basically build a real world projects up to execution level, like to the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
end.
Yeah, real world project is not like, build a calculator or clock or
No, no, I'm so saying,
music.
like, what I mean by real, like real problems which are
Yeah.
which can be solved because
Yeah, yeah.
there are always the problems in the world which need to figure
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a very incredible and insightful
No
from
problem.
you, sir. Thank you so much for joining Nightstrom, and we'll be forwarding. We'll be looking forward to have more such conversation. But for today,
problem.
we have a very short and crisp this session. Thank you so much for joining, sir.
Thank you very much. See you. Take care. Bye bye.